Good afternoon. It's Monday. It's Mayhem. Hope y'all are awesome. I am awesome. Hey, Mel. Hey, I texted you back. I hope you got it. Thanks for your text. I hope you got it. So, hi. Today is Monday. And I'm really excited about it being Monday. It's going to be a really great week, and I'm really happy about it. So, I just watched the most amazing video of Gwen, talking about advocacy. So I did this really incredible video series, with all of my kids, asking them about advocacy and what it means to them to be advocates. And I just saw the edit for the first one. Thanks, Mel. I'm glad you saw it. That makes me happy. So I'm really excited because I did this video series with the kids about advocacy and what advocacy means to them. And they had the coolest answers, and I'm really excited about it. So I have to rearrange my chair. It's bugging me. It's a lovely day here in Corvallis. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how much I love my kids, because they're awesome. And Gwendolyn in particular is amazing. So she's 10, and she's like one of the bravest people that I know. And a lot of times I talk about when you're advocating for something, how important it is to be brave in your advocacy. And I talk a lot about being imperfect. And one of the things I love about being a mom and about having kids is that a lot of times our kids just do stuff because they're just kids and they just do things, and that's how they learn. And they're not worried about doing things imperfectly for the most part, unless they're Gwen. And if they're Gwen, they wait to do things until it's perfect, and then they go ahead and do them. So it's sort of fun watching Gwen become a young human, because like I said, she's 10, and so she's starting to explore sort of taking initiative and doing a lot of things that I think are really, really powerful and incredible. And so, and Gwen is brave, and Gwen doesn't think she's brave, but Gwen is actually one of the bravest people I know. And she has started exploring her voice in a way that I think is really powerful and could be even more powerful for a lot of us to take inspiration from. And hey, if you're jumping on and you're here, make sure you type and write me a comment or something in the comment section, because that's the only way that I know you're here. Oh, look, someone's at the door. Oh, welcome to Facebook Live. Oh, good, Mel. I'm glad you're back. That's awesome. So if you're here, tell me you're here, because otherwise I can't see you, because I have no idea that you're here. So anyway, I'm talking about Gwen and how much she inspires me. And I mean, I feel like being a mom is really inspiring anyway, on a number of levels, but, watching Gwen come into her personhood and like really start to take risks, and how she talks about it. She will come home from school and say things to me like, hey, guess what I did today? I did a protest at lunch because we couldn't sit next to our friends because we had to sit in assigned classes. And I think that's crap. And so we marched around the lunchroom in circles until they gave us what we wanted, which was hilarious. And so anyway, she's always protesting and doing things that I find to be really incredibly inspiring. And I'm really excited because we're going to be posting her videos and her writing over to on Patreon. So I'm really excited about some of the things she's doing, and here too. But a lot of really cool stuff is going to be posted on Patreon this week. So I think she's just really awesome. And I love that she's learning how to advocate for herself. So she wears a lot of t-shirts that have really positive and affirming messages, especially about girls being awesome. And she gets teased a lot for them at school and bullied a lot for them at school, especially by other girls. And so Gwen has had these experiences where she will get teased and bullied at school about the shirts that she's wearing, even when they have positive messages about girls, like girls always win, or like other positive messages that she really likes. And people will tease her for them. And she like will look at them and say, well, you know, there are experiences where this is okay. And so she tells a really great story about about her t-shirts and how it's okay to wear empowering t-shirts even when you don't agree with what the statements are. So it's pretty cool. And then and Gwen is brave. Gwen is one of the bravest people I know, and she has a heart of gold. And one of the things, when you ask Gwen who her heroes are, one of the things she says is that Hillary Clinton is one of her heroes. And when she says that and you ask her why, she says, because Hillary stands up for everyone, and I think we should stand up for everyone. And I think it's really awesome that a 10-year-old totally gets that message, and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited about Gwen, and she's going to be sort of the focus of some of my stuff this week because she's really inspiring me to be awesome. So and now the other thing that I really want to talk about is that I did a really bomb-ass video about a letter that I wrote. She is pretty great, Mel. And she's getting more awesomer since the last time you saw her. Like, truthfully, the kid is like, she's so awesome. So I also did a video that I am going to be posting sometime over on Patreon that is actually an excerpt. I read an excerpt from the letter that I wrote to the family court judge last year before we moved to Oregon. And it's about my story, about how I choose to parent my kiddos and love my kids. And so I'm really excited about that because that's like my own little form of advocacy mayhem this week, is actually speaking my truth about being a step parent, because I feel like it's really time for me to be a little bit more vocal about my experience as a step parent. And so I'm really excited that I just took the brave step in Gwen's inspired me to really take the brave step to speak actual words that I have written to the court before about how it feels to be a stepmom. So I'm pretty excited about that. So you can find that over on Patreon too, /birdgirl1001. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. There's going to be lots of new writing and stuff over there this week that I'm really happy about. And now it's time for me to get on my tirade because that's what I do best. So anyway, the first tirade I'm going to go on is this one. So apparently we now have to ask the court system to continue grants for teen pregnancy programs. So there are grants, federal grants through the Department of Human Services and the CDC that help fund through Title X and through other resources, including CHIP, teen pregnancy prevention programs. Because what do we know about teens? They're awesome. They're super vibrant. They're really passionate. And they should be allowed to parent when they're ready to parent. And that means that we should be giving as many resources as possible so that teenagers can prevent pregnancy. Now, this might seem like, well, duh, but no, apparently not duh. And so there have been proposals to cut the funding for teen pregnancy prevention programs and teen pregnancy programs that would help teen moms and also prevent teen moms. And so now we have to actually sue the court systems. Yeah, we're suing the court systems to continue federal funding for programs receiving grants under the Teen Pregnancy Prevention Program. Yeah, because apparently in America, we want to make sure that we keep as many people in exactly the space they are, because even though we are a bootstrap nation where we are supposed to be helping people pick themselves up by their bootstraps and carry on with their lives and live the American dream, we are cutting programs that make it so that that can't happen. Okay, awesome. The next thing I want to talk about is it is all over the Twitters. And I'm going to talk about the Twitters really for a minute here. So there have been several women on Twitter who I follow, love, adore, and think are the bee's knees that have been silenced on Twitter, literally by Twitter, for standing up for other women who are being bullied on Twitter. So there is a group of people on Twitter that we all speculate are Russian bots, but we don't know what the deal is, who men in particular who are going after women who are speaking out against Bernie bros and people who are supporting Bernie Sanders and the people that he is supporting for office. And when that is happening, women are getting attacked on Twitter. So there's a lot of violence, verbal and physical violence threatened towards women on Twitter when they speak out against Bernie Sanders and the Bernie bros. And it has led to not the silencing of the bros. No, it has led to people literally getting shut down on Twitter by Twitter for speaking out for other women who are being bullied. So that is happening cyclically with several women who are being targeted right now that are in my Twitter community. And now I love Twitter. I have been able to use Twitter to my advantage. I learn from Twitter. I am inspired by Twitter. I'm inspired by the women that I meet on Twitter. I think it is a phenomenal platform. And I think it's absolute horseshit that it's not the men who are attacking women on Twitter that are getting silenced. It's the women who are supporting women who are being attacked on Twitter that are literally having their Twitter feeds shut down by Twitter. So I find that to be pretty appalling. What I also find to be pretty appalling is that this happens to be headlining news, trending news on Twitter. Abortions in the U.S. are safe and effective, a new report says. No. Shock. Really? Abortions are safe? That's just incredible. This is a new report that has come out and is being, the NPR did a report on it. This is one's from Time Magazine, this headline right here. I would like to make a point here. We have always known that abortions in the United States are one of the safest medical procedures that can be performed on a woman ever. And that actually pregnancy and following through with a pregnancy is actually one of the most dangerous things that that a woman can engage in. And I think it's really critical that we acknowledge this point. So abortions are actually very safe, especially if they're done in the first trimester. Hey, Patricia, how are you? And that carrying a pregnancy to term is actually more dangerous than getting an abortion. So the fact that we are making this headline news in America in 2018 sort of grosses me out, because we were having this conversation back in 2006 when I was working at the Utah State Legislature, and I just can't believe we're still doing this. And oh, by the way, we're still having to fight for teen pregnancy dollars. So anyway, I'm talking about this abortion is safe, conversation because but also because it leads into another headline that is trending on the Facebooks that are in the Twitters, which is this. It turns out that for those struggling with endometriosis, the pain goes beyond the physical. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we are acknowledging that menstrual pain and endometrial pain and all of the pains are actually legitimate. Now, let me tell you why I am so fascinated by this conversation. Yes, Mel Buckner. In other news, water is wet, periods hurt, and abortion is safe in America. Yay! That's so good. So good. Seriously. So here is the deal. It took me 5 doctors. I went through 5 doctors saying, I'm in this horrible pain. I'm in horrible pain. It's 24-hour pain. It's excruciating pain. It gets worse during my periods. I'm in horrible pain. I had doctors literally say to my face, we'll tell you how much pain you're in. You'll tell me how much pain I am in. Are you in my vagina? Are you in my uterus? Are you feeling my ovaries from the inside out? No, you're not. No. So you don't get to tell me how much pain I'm in. Finally, I found a doctor who believed me that I was in all this pain. And I went to her and she believed me. So yes, Patricia, lots of swear words. So nothing was showing up, but like there was a cyst that maybe was on my ovary, one ovary. And she's like, I don't really want to do an oophorectomy because I can't really see what's going on with your ovaries. I said, you're taking it all out. I want a full hysterectomy. I want an oophorectomy. I want you to take everything out. So she gets in there and I get out of surgery and I go for my follow-up and she said, you don't do anything half-assed, do you? And I was like, nope, not really. Why? And she said, I had like tumors in my uterus, cysts on my ovaries, polyps on my fallopian tubes, endometriosis, and the endometriosis was also growing on the muscle lining of my stomach. So there's 4 things that can go wrong with your reproductive system, and I had all 4 of them times 1,000. And she's like, how did you manage the pain? Were you taking drugs? And I was like, no. She's like, you had no painkillers, not even Advil? I was like, no. And she said, were you in pain constantly? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, pretty much I was in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Mel. Exactly, Patricia. I was like, yeah, so I was in pain all the time. But this is why headlines like this piss me off. Pain goes beyond the physical. Well, no kidding. When you're in constant pain, it's emotionally exhausting. And there was another article I posted a couple weeks ago about how all of a sudden doctors are acknowledging that, yes, yes, Mel, I had no pain because the doctor said I didn't mind over matter mansplained. Yes. I think I just learned to bear it, because women can give birth, except for me, because clearly that was not meant to be. And that's a whole nother conversation, is the infertility one. But I think I just learned to bear it, because it just became constant. But the fact that we are having headlines that say, hey, ladies, the medical establishment is actually acknowledging your menstrual pain is really phenomenal to me. So again, I think this is water is wet kind of a thing. Back to what Mel said. Abortion is safe. Endometriosis hurts like a mother. It really hurts really bad. And we're now suing the court system. We're now suing the federal government to keep grants for teen pregnancy prevention. Because in America in 2018, we look more like the Handmaid's Tale than we ever have before in the United States. Isn't that nice? So that's my mayhem. My mayhem is this. I would really love it if all y'all would just raise a little hell today. I don't care how you do it. Thanks for the thumbs up, Molly. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you have a conversation with your doctor and are like, hey, guess what? It turns out endometriosis hurt and I want you to check it out. Yes, Patricia, I love your comment about most in the medical community thinks we're all stupid and ignorant. So I was at a reproductive healthcare conference and I was talking to a doctor and I said, I love that you're becoming an OBGYN. Please believe your patients when they come to you and say they're in pain. And she was like, and she started to sort of do the hem and haw. Well, it's up to me to diagnose them. And I looked at her and I was like, it's up to you to listen when somebody says, I am hurting. Especially if they're saying, I am hurting in my genital area. I am hurting in my uterus. I am hurting in my ovaries. This hurts. Because people who go into medical care should listen to their patients when they say, this hurts. Because it hurts badly. So yes, I think a lot of times people in the medical community forget that we actually know what's happening in our bodies, especially if we're super tapped into it. And I think that gets to sort of why we are having all these struggles in the first place. And so my mayhem is really to get people, like hopefully empower people through my own story and the story of Gwen being brave. Like if my little 10-year-old can stick up for her little self, then we need, I love that your daughter's giving doctors hell on all this. It's so good. That if we could just stand up and be a little more brave and take inspiration from all of these stories, then I think we can keep fighting in the resistance and fighting the crap that's going on. And the last thing I really want to say is just if we are tapped into our badass selves and we are willing to be imperfect and we're willing to stand up, then there is nothing that we can't do this week. So thank you all for joining me on Facebook Live today. I really do hope you head on over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/birdgirl1001. The video we're going to be posting up there for my supporters of me reading the letter to the judge, where I talk about how much I love my kids and why I love my kids, is really powerful and awesome. And there's also some new writing over there. And Patricia, I actually do Facebook Live. I'm even going to write it out so everybody knows. Every Monday and Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. So I do Facebook Live Monday and Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. I'm bringing Caitlin back over spring break for Fuck Shit Up Friday in a couple weeks. So let's see, that's March 30th. Caitlin's coming back with me. So we're going to have another talk. And hopefully I'm going to be bringing Gwen and Sean on to do some Facebook Lives with me too during their breaks. So anyway, thank you all for being here. I'm super excited to have you be a part of the Bird Girl world, and I hope you have a super rockin' day. Don't let this administration get you down. Resist, insist, persist. Patreon.com/birdgirl1001 for my secret new fancy content and some new writing. See y'all. Peace.